Okay guys, welcome to Luling and Bucees. 100 miles, 1 hour 46 minutes, and we use 313 watt hours per mile, which makes sense. Yes sir, flying down the toll road. So before I even got off of Boggy Ford, I got the big red wheel that indicated that that FSD had a problem with me. And apparently it suspended FSD, well, at least temporarily. So we were like, okay, what do I do now? I mean, I was already driving, so I didn't want to stop. So I just kept driving along. And we were talking about, so we were heading down here, and I thought I'd turned on the allow toll roads, but apparently I hadn't. So when I pulled up the display and reset the avoid toll roads flag, all of a sudden now I got the autopilot wheel and FSD came back on. So yay, at least for the toll roads I had FSD. So getting on the toll roads, FSD on. My grandson was saying something about counting various things. He was going to count race cars. So did you count mine? Well, it's just a Tesla. Okay, and accelerated. Like, he was still going, yeah, it's just a Tesla. No, it's a Model 3 Performance. It's essentially kind of sort of anyway a race car. Now can you feel that, because it has the performance tires, right? It's the summer tires. You know, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, whatever, peace and harmony. So FSD on, we're cruising down the highway, taking the toll roads all the way out. Cool. And actually everything was actually pretty smooth, other than the one place. And you know what, this time when I look back, so there was a truck coming up to follow me, and so FSD said, oh, we gotta move over, make room for that truck. And so we moved over in front of a car. Usually I feel like we're cutting in too close. This time, it looked somewhat reasonable, not terrible. So that part was actually pretty good. Coming down the toll roads, everything's good. Now, down towards Lockhart, the speed limit goes up to 85. For some reason, I've had a problem before where sometimes I'll read the 85 as 85, sometimes read 85 as 65. This time it looked like it read, the first one is 85, went down to 65, and then refused to change from 65. And because, what's that? I'm doing 85 in the 65 zone? Oh, I'm horribly speeding. So then the hand nag started getting more, oh, whatever. You know, if you just knew how to read the 8 in 85, as opposed to reading it as a 6, we wouldn't have this problem. Okay, whatever, peace and harmony. So, anyway, FSD was working great here. Other than, of course, for some reason they program 85 to be read as 65. Sometimes. It's a Central Texas problem, right? I don't know how many other places have 85 as a speed limit on the highway. And some people have said this is the only place, but I think there's other places. Anyway, whatever. How horrible, oh, gee whiz, it doesn't read 85 as 85. And it has the same kind of problem with 80. It doesn't fully understand 80. Whatever, peace and harmony, it's a small problem. So I apparently put in the wrong address. I mean, I should have looked it up through using the charging menu, and I didn't. But whatever, peace and harmony, it's all good. So we navigated to someplace different than Bucees. And as soon as it said turn left here, I'm like, that's not where we're going. So I got on I-10 and started heading east, and sure enough, there was a sign that says Bucky's 4 miles up. So, okay, we figured it out. So it's all good. So as far as, I mean, I think I got a strike. Now, whether or not it shows as a strike in the system, I don't know. But I essentially got a strike. And that's not so great. But it doesn't hurt. Right? As long as I don't get any more, it doesn't hurt. So I just have to remember to pay more attention to the vision system. I would say that although I haven't got the 2023 was it 44.30.1, I'm still on 2023.44.1. But it does look like they've updated parts of the system, even though they haven't sent the whole update. I don't know what's going on there, but it is what it is. Anyway, so FSD, yeah, we're doing great. Other than that part, but part of it's probably my fault, so it's all good. Okay, home again, jiggity jog. We all had a good time. I made several stops, so I didn't record any of it. So the total distance is 190 miles. Yes, I followed 183 instead of toll road coming back. 56 kilowatt hours used, 296 watt hours per mile. It was much higher when I had it earlier, so there you go. So coming back, I was using FSD a fair amount. Coming back, there was something. No, there was not. So coming under I-10 up 183, there was a little thing where there was a car. The lane next, the inside lane goes from 2 lanes to 1, and I'm in the outside lane. There was a car who was like, at first was going to follow or go where I was going until he realized I was there. Okay, I mean, that was kind of like, stay in your lane, dude. But that's not FSD, right? So FSD worked great right into Lockhart. Yeah, all that was fine. The only problem, so it's later. So north of Lockhart on US 183, next to the toll road, they have traffic lights at the intersections. The traffic lights are set to flashing yellow. FSD had a problem with that setup for some reason. I could swear I've seen him work with other cases, but in this case, he was going like, no, it's a traffic light, I have to stop. Foot on the accelerator, keep the car moving. And once I went through one, there was a series of 3 of them. I knew that the other ones I was going to do the same thing. Okay. Just south of the airport, or just south of the airport property, came up on an intersection. I have the green light, and there's a tow truck, a rollback, who's partially coming out of his road and partially turned on to 183, but he's not into the traffic lane yet, and he is stopped. Somewhere and then there's a semi parked on the side of the road just a little bit up. I guess he's broken down or something. Anyway, for some reason FSD decided to aim in between these 2 vehicles, neither one of which is on the road in my traffic lane. Brake on, FSD off. And it felt like he was going to turn. Instead of staying straight in lane, he was going to turn. Quite possibly it may be that he was trying to split the difference in the road surface that he could measure. Except what's that? There's vehicles there, so you can't do that. Hey, whatever. Once we're north of the airport property, past 71, FSD back on. FSD, I believe I had FSD on all the way back to, well, actually all the way back to 1431. FSD was on. And then when we went to go down the exit to get on to 1431 from 183A, he FSD typically likes to go into the outside of the 2 lanes, and you really need to be in the inside of the 2 lanes to make the left turn down at the bottom on the 1431. Okay, so it was just, it's a typical problem FSD has at this particular place. Once we're past it, FSD back on. I think FSD was all the way back on. Oh, wait, there was some intersection someplace. That was earlier, actually. So there was a spot where there was a turn lane opens up on the right, and FSD wants to go into it. So brake on, FSD off, go past the intersection, and FSD back on. So going down 1431 to Lago Vista, I don't think there was any problems in here. Yes. So when we got to Lago Vista, we actually were going to a store that my daughter found, and when she mentioned ice cream, okay, we're going there. So anyway, whatever. So overall, FSD performed fairly decently. There's a few cases where he took unusual actions, and of course on 183, I mean, I'm not 183, Texas 130, where we're in the 85 zone, the car has a real hard problem making the difference between 85 and 65. To a human driver, the signs say it's 85. But for some reason, FSD switches back and forth. Except this time, he didn't switch back to 85, he stayed 65 until we exited. And because I bumped the scroll wheel up to 85, we're 20 miles over the speed limit according to Elon logic or Tesla logic. Okay, and that FSD was not particularly happy with that. But anyway, there you go. Overall, I would say it was a pretty good drive, actually. Oh, and so just for grins, because my grandson's saying, well, I'm looking for a race car, I can't find a race car. You're sitting in a race car right now. So I switched it to track mode, and I gave a little acceleration mode boost, and he says, oh yeah, okay, that's a fast car. Anyway, there you go. So what would the grade would be a C because of the traffic light situation out there by Lockhart. So there you go.